Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajara Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajara Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanatari Yamuna Tira Vanatari Jayo Radha Madhava Jaya Kundari Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jayo Jagannatha Jayo Baladeva Subhadra Mayi Jaya Sudharshana Jayo Krishna Balaram Jayo Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jayo Krishna Balaram Jayo Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jayo Jaya Prabhupada Om Vishnupada Paramahansa His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Namo Vishnupada Paramahansa Namo Vishnupada Krishna Prasad Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prasad Vishesha Punyavani Panchadata Satarni Namo Mahavadantaya Krishna Prema Padayata Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gurte Namo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Mukam Karoti Vachalam Bangulam Girati Girim Yasthira Tamakam Vande Shri Guru Dina Taranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hare Krishna, welcome all the devotees for Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. I seek blessing from all the devotees so that I can speak Bhagavatam in the Parampara for the pleasure of Krishna and the devotees and my own purification. Hare Krishna, today's sloka is 2nd Canto, 7th chapter, sloka number 37. Very interesting sloka. So we will all recite along with that. Devad Visham Nigama Varatamani Nishitanam Ubir Mayina Vivitabir Adrishya Surbahi Lokan Ganatam Ati Vimoham Ati Pralobam Vesam Vidya Bahubashyata Ayupadharma Mayam. Translation: when the atheist, after being well versed in the Vedic scientific knowledge, annihilate inhabitants of different planets, flying unseen in the sky on well-built rocket prepared by the great scientist Mayadanava, the Lord will bewilder their mind by dressing himself attractively as Buddha and will preach on sub-religious principle. But this incarnation of Lord Buddha is not the same Buddha incarnation we have in the present history of mankind. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the Buddha incarnation mentioned in this verse appear in a different Kali Yuga. In the duration of life of one Manu, there are more than 72 Kali Yugas, and in one of them, particular type of Buddha mentioned here would appear. Lord Buddha incarnation at a time when the people are most materialistic and preaches common sense religious principle. Such ahimsa is not a religious principle itself, but it is an important quality for a person who are actually religious. It is a common sense religion because one is advised to do no harm to any other animal or living being, because such harmful actions are equally harmful to he who does the harm. But before learning these principles, the non-violence, one has to learn two other principles, namely to be humble and to be prideless. Unless one is humble and prideless, one cannot harmless and non-violent. And after being non-violent, one has to learn the tolerance and the simplicity of living. One must offer respect to the great religious preachers and spiritual leaders and also train the sense for the controlled action, learning to be the unattached to the family and home, and enacted devotional service to the Lord, etc. At the ultimate stage, one has to accept the Lord and become his devotee. Otherwise, there is no religion. In religious principle, there must be a God in the center. Otherwise, simple moral instructions are merely sub-religion principle, generally known as upadaram or nearness to the religious principle. Namo Pangajanaabhaya, Namo Pangajamaline, Namo Pangajanetraya, Namaste Pangajangre, Bhukter Mahabir, Ima Pura Vibhu, Nirmaya Set Yat Amyusa Purushaha, Bhukte Guna Sorasa Sorakmaha, Solangret, Bhagavan Masamsimi. Welcome once again for the Nityam Bhagavad Sevya. So today's slokas, second canto, 7th chapter, 37th sloka, it talks about the Buddha incarnation. So what this sloka trying to teach us? The enemy of the devatas, that is demon. So when the demons who are fixed in Vedic learning, when the demons fixed in Vedic learning, they have read the Vedas, but they were demonic. That is, they were twisting the meaning of Vedas using for one own selfish purpose. When they kill the people using the fortress means the fort, no, that building designed for the defense against attacker. So this is what is happening. Ravana, he is also the son of a Brahmana. He knows all the Vedas, everything, but still he is a demonic. Hamsa, he is also a very learned person. So whoever demon, if you see in the history, they are all well versed of Vedic learning, but they misinterpret and try to kill the people. Traveling at how these demons travel, they are traveling at a great speed so that they are not seen by the enemies. Those 4 places were built by Mayadeva Danava. Mayadhanava, he is an architect for the demons, so he built that one. The Lord takes the dress of a non-believer of Vedas, and he will speak many alluring heretical doctrine to be bewildered their mind. So heretical means rebellious. So this is what the Buddha was doing it. So Lord came as a Buddha form. Even though one who accepts his own whims and not following the Vedas is a asuras. So who are asuras? Asuras are learned, but they use their own whimsical way of following it. Here it is mentioned that asura fixed it in the Vedic learning. This seems to be very controversy. So they are learned people, they are saying it, but it's controversy is going on. That is, those who accept the Vedas are Devas, that's what we understand. And those who reject the Vedas are Asuras. But here what is happening, Asura mentioned is Nigama Varami Nishitanam. So in the sloka it is said. So it means that from the external point of view, they are perfectly following the Vedas. But their knowledge about and the detail mentioned in the Vedas, but their heart were that of Asuras. So knowledge is the Veda knowledge, but heart is a crooked. So Asuras there. Their desire was not following the Vedas. So basically they don't follow the Vedas. So example is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Jagai Madai, they are Brahmanas. They know all the Vedas. They study every time the Vedas, and what they will do is what all the Asura characters they will implement that. That means they all the sinful activity they will pick up and they will execute the sinful against the thing. So that was that. So that is called Asuras. So this is such demons will kill the people. Okay, their desire not to follow Vedas, but their desire just to insult. Such demons will kill people. This is not the Buddha we often hear about. So what we hear is Buddha is different. Buddha, how they were killing, in the purport Prabhupada says that non-violence, ahimsa. There it says that they will kill the animals. So in the name of Vedas, people were killing the animals. So Buddha said that non-violence. Here it is mentioned that they were the asuras are killing the animal and they travel at a great speed. So they are not seen by the enemies because it was built by Maya Danava. That time the Lord will take the dress of a non-believer. So Bahubhashya, he will seek very attractive. He will look very attractive. But heretical doctrines means not approved by Shastras. So misguiding the people. In order to bewilder the minds of the people, he will speak heretical topics. So what Jiva Goswami says is, Sridhar Swami says, so from the Bonsam Maharaj, he was commenting about this sloka, about the Sridhar Swami saying that the strength of the learning, they built, by the strength of the learning, they built the weapons. And other comrades, they learned in the Vedas to modify the people who get killed by the demons. So they use the Vedas to prepare the weapons to kill the people. So one understanding is Nigama Vartamani Nishitam. So we have to understand what is the one understanding is these demons were very knowledgeable in Vedic learning. By this they could build the weapons and through which they kill. Okay, this is one way of looking at that. The other understanding of Nigama Vartamani Nishitanam means people who were killed by these demons. Okay, people who are killed by these demons, the demons were killing the people who were learned Vedas. So it's other way around. People who learned people of Vedas, they kill it. Usually it happened in British initial days. They were destroying all the Gurukulas and killed the gurus so that whatever the Vedic knowledge, it should not pass on to the next generation, so that they can take control over the India, because they want to make Indians as a slave. But the Indians are very learned and they know how to lead a life, peaceful life. They are God conscious people. So this is what has happened. Okay, even Jiva Goswami says that because they do not hear the proper conclusion of Vedas, they act as a demon. So what demons do is they read the Vedas but they are not accept the conclusion of the Vedas. That's why they behave like a demon. The demon reads the Vedas but not accepting the conclusion of Vedas, therefore they consider as a demonic. Okay. This verse of description of Buddha, what it describes is when the demons fix in the path of the Vedic, kill people from the fortress made by the Mayadavana and travel speed so that they cannot be seen by the enemies. The Lord, wearing the dress of a non-believer, will speak many heretical teachings which will bewilder them, being very allured to their minds. So from this Prabhupada's purport, okay, what he says that this Buddha, according to Jiva Goswami, the avatar is different from Kalpa of Brahma. That's why it's called Kalpa Veda. So in the Manu there are in the purport it is clearly mentioned. In Manu there are 74 Kali Yugas are there. In one of the Kali Yugas, the Lord appears as a dressing himself attractive as a Buddha and will preach on sub-religious principles. So this happens once in a Manu's period. The current Buddha came to perform the role of a bewildered Brahmana, so-called Brahmanas, who is in the name of following the Vedas were engaged in animal killing. So in the name of Vedas, they were killing the animals. The wholesome animals were killed. Okay, the Buddha mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam belong to a different kalpa. So this is the message of today's sloka. What in the Srimad Bhagavatam says is it's said Lord himself came as a Buddha to bewilder the people. Okay, and he comes in once in a Manu's life. Hare Krishna. Hope you understood. We'll see you tomorrow, same time with more information.